Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm making this video to make this subject very clear and the answer very plain and simple, as there is a lot of misinformation surrounding what is and is not canon in regards to the Elder Scrolls Legends and the Elder Scrolls Online. If you've read the title of the video, you already know the answer. If this answer distresses you at all, hopefully this video will sate your distress. Now these answers I'm giving you are coming from the producers and the studios themselves. This isn't an opinion I've cooked up, these are raw facts. So please, for the love of Vivek Spear, watch the whole video before commenting, as there's a lot of angles and a number of hot topics that need to be addressed when it comes to the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends and lore. So again, please just sit back, relax, and watch the whole video to get all of the information and all of the angles, for all of our sakes, but most of all for your sake. So one of the most common questions that I get is the Elder Scrolls Online considered canon in the Elder Scrolls universe? Now, not only do I get asked that a lot, but it's a question that I wonder about regularly. As a content creator whose sphere is essentially all Elder Scrolls, I'm sitting here like, can I play these games and make videos on these games? Are they considered canon? Is it a waste of my time? Is it a good use of my time? I don't know. And I actually found finding the answer quite difficult, and I'm sure a lot of you are in the same position. However, unlike most of you, I am in a position where I do have access to people within these companies. So over the last week or so, I have been pursuing the answer to these questions from the companies themselves. And the answer is yes, the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends are considered canon within the greater Elder Scrolls universe. It is inarguable, as it's not up to me and it's not up to you. It's only up to Bethesda Game Studios and ZeniMax Online Studios, who both agreed during the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends conception that they are canon. Again, this is not my opinion, this is a fact. My opinion is irrelevant, and so is yours, as this is an objective matter and not a subjective one. The only people who can truly dictate the answer to this question are BGS and ZOS, both of which have said yes, the Elder Scrolls Online is canon. Now Matt Firor, he's basically the Todd Howard of ZeniMax Online Studios who make the Elder Scrolls Online, answered this very question when I interviewed him.
One of the most common questions I get about the Elder Scrolls Online is whether its lore is considered canon in the broader Elder Scrolls.
Yes, it absolutely is. We have one full-time lore master that does nothing but work with Bethesda Game Studios to make sure that there's a consistent timeline. The characters are consistent, naming is consistent. The timeline is super important, of course, to any lore. But this is why we picked the time that we did for Elder Scrolls Online all those years ago when we started the project. Was we wanted to pick a time where there wasn't a whole lot known about it, so we could at least tell our own stories with our own characters, and we do that. But yeah, when you start to bring in things like the Psijic Order and the history of the Altmer, yes, we're very much tied into the main lore.
So you do work pretty closely with Bethesda
every day, yeah.
The Elder Scrolls Online is considered canon in the greater Elder Scrolls universe. They have a lore master who works every day and is in contact with Bethesda Game Studios every day. Now BGS's lore masters also greenlight what ZeniMax Online Studios is going to do in the Elder Scrolls Online. So BGS and ZOS work together daily. So this isn't one studio fighting another going, our stuff's canon. No, it's not. Yes, it is. This is both studios agreeing on content that is canon in the lore. And while we're here, the Elder Scrolls Legends is in the same boat. If you don't know, the Elder Scrolls Legends has a story mode in which a single-player campaign takes place, and the events that transpire are also considered canon in the greater Elder Scrolls universe. So, if the uncertainty of the validity of these games within the canon has ever deterred you from playing the Elder Scrolls Legends or the Elder Scrolls Online, then there you go. You now know the truth. Feel free to play them, knowing you are only bolstering your Elder Scrolls knowledge and not hindering it. So if you've never played them, go ahead, have a play. The Elder Scrolls Legends is free to play, and the Elder Scrolls Online has free to play weekends every now and then, so you can check it out then. Or you can just watch some videos on it to check it out. And if not, no problem. It makes no difference to me if you do or do not play the Elder Scrolls Online or the Elder Scrolls Legends. I get it. If you're into Skyrim and you're into single-player games, first-person, open-world RPGs, and these other gaming genres like strategy card games or MMORPGs aren't your thing, I get it, trust me. For example, I don't like reading books. I hate it. I can't concentrate. After reading each page, I have no memory of what I just read. But when it comes to the Elder Scrolls, and there's an Elder Scrolls book, you goddamn bet I'm reading that sucker. So, if you are an uber Elder Scrolls fan and love the lore, well, you now have 2 games that are canon and constantly getting you content. You can play them right now and continue learning about the Elder Scrolls universe, and also learning things about the Elder Scrolls universe and the Elder Scrolls lore that you wouldn't learn from any of the other games. So for anyone stinging for more Elder Scrolls lore, it's here, with the Elder Scrolls Legends and the Elder Scrolls Online. Now luckily for me, MMORPGs and strategy card games I enjoy, so playing the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends is fun for me. And again, if you don't like the games, I get it, totally understandable. And for those of you in that position, I do plan on covering major or interesting lore events that transpire in both the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends to spread the new lore to all of you who are hesitant to play the games. But most importantly, for everyone to know for certain that yes, the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends are considered canon within the Elder Scrolls lore by every party involved with deciding on such a decision. Okay, so let's get into some of the more meta things here. Now when it comes to the discussion of the Elder Scrolls Online being canon within the lore, some people type up a big list of lore conflicts it has with the already existing Elder Scrolls lore. And then they present it and go, look at all of these inconsistencies, conflicts and errors, how could you possibly say that this is lore? Well, firstly, again, it's not up to me and it's not up to you to say what is and is not lore. And of course, we don't want inconsistencies and conflicts within the lore, but it happens, and it has happened in every Elder Scrolls game, and a lot of the time, it's intentional. Okay, and now we get onto the Unreliable Narrator. Okay, so what does that mean? All throughout the Elder Scrolls games, a narrative device or technique is deployed called the Unreliable Narrator. This is a phenomenon in which the source of information from within the game is incorrect within the universe, and intentionally so. For example, the same way people in real life are wrong, and they might pass on incorrect information unintentionally. Well, that happens in the Elder Scrolls as well. Oftentimes there are 2 or 3 or even more reports and recounts of the same event within the game, but none of them match up or line up. So we have 3 sources from the lore from within the game on the same topic, and all of them conflict with each other. Again, this is due to the Unreliable Narrator, the person within the game or the source within the game giving us information is wrong. Like if some peasant in Morthal tells us about some crazy event that happened 5,000 years ago, he's probably wrong. He wasn't there. That's like me telling you about something that went down in an ancient Egyptian alleyway 5,000 years ago. Bets are I'm 100% incorrect. Well, so is this Morthal peasant. But of course, people listen to the peasant because he's in the game. Then later, when the actual events are revealed and what actually happened, it's pointed out as incorrect when in fact, the original source of information, the Morthal peasant, he was the one that was wrong. With that said, yes, there are clear lore conflicts to pieces of Elder Scrolls lore that already existed, and we cannot attribute these errors to the Unreliable Narrator. But, again, this has happened in every Elder Scrolls game, and will continue to happen in every Elder Scrolls game. For example, in Morrowind, all of Cyrodiil was clearly described as dense jungle by an Imperial who lived in Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil is the cradle of human Imperial high culture in Tamriel. It is the largest region of the continent, and most is endless jungle.
Then the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion rocks up, and Cyrodiil is not jungle at all. Then the lore was retconned, and Talos turned Cyrodiil from jungle into not jungle. Okay, no problem. Then the Elder Scrolls Online comes around, set roughly 800 years before the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and guess what? Cyrodiil is also not jungle 800 years before it was made not jungle. So then they added the lore that Talos made it not jungle all throughout time. Or in the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, Skyrim is a frozen wasteland with only the Reach in the west being green. Then what happens? The Elder Scrolls 5 rocks up and only 2 of the 9 holds are frozen. What happened to that lore? Again, the list of these inconsistencies are long and present in every Elder Scrolls game, and the Elder Scrolls Online is no different. And when some new content comes out that has some new information that conflicts with whatever we thought it was, remember the Unreliable Narrator was probably giving us misinformation from the beginning, and intentionally as well. Well, intentionally from a design perspective. And while I'm not excusing any lore breaks or retcons that the Elder Scrolls Online makes, to act as if it's only ESO in which such things happen, that is just plain incorrect. That is wrong. So I do hope that this helped you understand why lore errors occur and why we have ever conflicting lore due to the Unreliable Narrator. And I do hope that this has finally put your minds at ease with the indefinite facts that the Elder Scrolls Online and the Elder Scrolls Legends story mode are both canon lore in the greater Elder Scrolls universe. Again, feel free to check the games out, and if not, be sure to subscribe because I'll be covering all of the cool stuff here on YouTube. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video.